Welcome back. All right, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about all the ways you put information into Use My Stats. Here we go. Really, there are three different ways that we do this. The first one is by hand. Obviously, going like this all day, though, is not your preferred way to manage your practice. So there's two other ways that you can import information into Use My Stats. The first one is by using an Excel spreadsheet. If you go to Enter Values and Import Stats from Excel, it'll show you the exact format that you need it to be in, and all you have to do is just select Choose File, find that document, and then hit the Import button. A couple of important pointers here. First of all, you want to make sure the time period matches the graph that you're going to be setting this into. For instance, if you've entered all your information daily, you'll want to make sure you're putting it into a daily graph. Otherwise, it may appear like you just entered weekly, monthly, or even annual numbers, which would obviously be wrong. The other thing to be careful of is the decimal points. So again, make sure you have all these settings correct before you hit the import button. The third way that you can put information into Use My Stats is by using integrations, meaning having this software program talk to the software program that you use to manage your practice. There are two ways that you can set that up. The first is to go to the More button and select Integrations. You may find that your practice management software is listed right here. If you don't see it, don't fret. There's still a possibility that you can integrate your practice management software with Use My Stats. The first thing to do is to click on Available Integrations to get the entire list. If you don't find it there, go ahead and hit the Help button and create a support ticket, and their support team will reach out to you and let you know if it's possible to do this. Now, the first way, as I said, is to enter information directly into Use My Stats. And the simplest way to do that is by going to Enter Values and Single Stat Entry, meaning we're just going to be entering all the values into one particular graph. What you'll do is select the graph that you want to enter, and the options will arrive like this. On the left, you'll see all of the dates. Right here, you'll see any numbers that you've already entered previously. This field right here is for entering new numbers. Over here, you'll see any quotas that you've entered previously, and this column allows you to enter new quotas. You'll see a little button right here, which is called the Copy button. This is for the fact that oftentimes a quota is the same day after day after day. So rather than having to type in 10 over and over and over again, we hit the Copy button and then click and drag, and as you can see, the quota arrives in the other boxes as well. Additionally, there are notes sections over here on the right. This is for any major changes that are happening in your practice right now. For instance, let's say we were going along 7, 6, 8, 8, and then suddenly we had a day where there was only 1. I probably would want to note down why that happened. For instance, Sarah was in Hawaii. That would be a good reason for that statistic to be down because it means that your staff are taking care of themselves. But of course, when we're looking at it a year from now, we might want to be able to remember why that graph went down. Conversely, there might be a really good reason why the graph suddenly jumped up to 50. For example, we had a new staff member who was doing a working interview and they did a really good job that day. So obviously we hired the right person. Remember, anytime you enter information, you always want to hit the Save button before you exit that page. Otherwise, all your hard work will be lost. All right, the other option we have for entering information is to do it for the entire group of statistics. In an earlier lesson, I talked about group statistics, and one of my favorite ways to do this is to group it by person. For instance, there are many statistics that are tracked here at Silkin, but there are only a few that I am responsible for. In this case, you can see I'm responsible for bubbles blown and apples picked, which are not really statistics. But as you can see in this situation, rather than having the date here, we have a date over here, and I can select which date I want to enter the information for, and then I'm only entering the information for that specific date, but into every single graph I'm responsible for. And again, it gives me the option to add notes. Please notice that there is no way to enter quotas when you're selecting stat entry by group. So if you want to enter any quotas, you'll have to choose single stat entry. All right, those are all the ways you can put information into Use My Stats. Again, please pause here in their course and jump into Use My Stats and really get familiar with this. Play around with it. You may even want to create a fake graph so that you can practice putting information in and making sure your quotas are set up the way you want them to be. I'll see you in the next lesson.